Hello, everybody. Welcome to Transformation Day. This is day 3 of the online Wealth Accelerator workshop. And today is where the rubber really meets the road. So I congratulate those of you who are showing up today, because today is the day that we go inside, that we find out what your blocking beliefs are, what is really holding you back from stepping up and stepping into the most powerful version of you to be able to achieve the results that you want. Because what we've gone through over the last couple of days is a hell of a lot of information, but we've looked at the how. We've looked at the way to set up an online business that can generate 6 figures a year, building those foundations, understanding who you truly are, the overview, the really 90,000 foot overview of what that looks like and the kind of decisions that you have to make. And then yesterday we went into the mindset stuff. So becoming the most powerful version of you. And today is the scariest day of all, because today is where we work together to help you to understand more of what is slowing you down, what is holding you back. And then I'm going to work with you with the techniques that I shared. Well, actually, I realized yesterday that that slide was missing in my presentation, which was a bit of a bombshell moment for me. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't talk about the methods and strategies that I use to release this stuff. So we're going to be working with these methodologies today. So let me start by actually, firstly, for those who are here live, great. Thank you for showing up. And I'd just like to, if you were here for the last couple of days, I'd love to know what your biggest takeaways have been over the last couple of days. What aha moments have you had? What realizations, what learnings, what has been the biggest the biggest learning for you? And how is that going to translate for you over the coming days, weeks, and months? What are you going to do with that information? Remember, information is powerful, but it's actually doesn't do anything until you do something with it, until it is utilized. So what has been your the benefit of you showing up each day? And I honor you for showing up each day, because this is a lot of time out of your schedule, and there's a lot of stuff that you could be doing with your time. And I really honor you for showing up for yourself and for spending this time with me. And I do hope that you found it invaluable. And I'd love to know what value you've gotten out of the last 2 days so far. So getting more motivated to get started, to take action. Fantastic, Richard. What I'm going to say to you is, don't spend all your time getting ready to get ready. We are all guilty of that from time to time. We're always waiting for, this to happen or that to happen. Just get started. Never, ever wait for things to be perfect. So, and motivation is something that doesn't last. It's being able to go inside and being able to draw on those internal resources and be able to shift yourself into a state of empowered action. So, so what I'm going to invite everybody to do after this is put a plan together. Put a plan together and just start executing on the plan. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to know how it's all going to turn out. Some of it might be a bit scary, but put a plan together, because you will be surprised at what shows up when you start taking action. You will be amazed at how the universe will rise to meet you at the level of action that you're taking. Actually, the universe will way exceed your expectations as far as the contribution that it makes to your success. The thing is that you have to rise to the occasion first. So, and I'm not just talking to you, Richard, I'm talking to everybody. So rise to the occasion. And if you think about your vision and how that feels for you, and your goals, your dreams, if you put yourself in that space of How amazing is that going to feel when you've achieved that? Now rise to the occasion of what it's going to take to achieve that. Because I'm not going to paint a picture of sunshine and rainbows and unicorns for you, because the achievement is going to be absolutely amazing. But the journey there is, it's going to have the most rewarding times, but it's also going to have the most challenging times as well. So don't go into this expecting that your big vision or your big dream is going to be this, easy road. And I'm pretty sure that you don't. But what you do need to know is that you are bigger than any challenge you will ever face. You are way bigger than any challenge that you will ever face. You are way more capable than you realize. You are way more resourceful than you give yourself credit for. You are way more amazing than you could possibly imagine. If you could see yourself the way spirit, the way source, the way God sees you, whatever you call that higher being, the ultimate source, if you could see yourself the way source sees you, you'd probably never get anything done, because you would sit there all day in absolute awe of who you truly are. But you don't give yourself enough credit. You don't realize how strong you are, how capable you are. If you did, you would suddenly realize that there is nothing that you cannot achieve, and that there is no dream that you cannot achieve. So when you look at yourself from that perspective, what are you going to go? What are you in for? What occasion are you going to rise to? I want you to think of it in that perspective. Okay, Rich has missed the couple of previous sessions, so great that you're going to watch the replays. Just come in with the mindset of taking out at least 2 or 3 things that you're going to execute on. So, all right, so I'm going to really quickly, today's not about a presentation, but I do have this that I want to share with you from, that should have been in yesterday's presentation. So, okay, can everybody see my screen? Yeah, okay. So yesterday I said I was going to share with you why most people struggle to realize their dreams and how to fix it in 2 minutes or less. Now, I shared with you why most people struggle to realize their dreams. I didn't share with you how to fix it in 2 minutes or less, which was kind of my big promise yesterday. So epic fail on my part. Sorry about that. I'm going to fix it today. So today, these are the kinds of techniques. There are so many different techniques that you can use that can help to rewire the brain fast. You can rewire the brain slowly. You can achieve your goals and dreams slowly. But it's kind of like pulling teeth, or ripping a Band-Aid off. Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off slowly, or do you want to rip it off fast and get it done as quickly as possible? So these are the techniques that I use with my clients when I work with my clients. So you've got EFT tapping. If you're in my community, you know how much I love EFT tapping. There are so many reasons. One, it is incredibly powerful transformation technique. It works so incredibly quickly as long as you have the right target. And I'll talk to you more about that in a second. It's easy. Anybody can do it. So it's simple. Once you have the process down, you can do it anywhere. You can use it on anything. There is just no limit to the applications that you can use emotional freedom technique for. You can use it on physical pain, on mental trauma, on blocks to success, on all sorts of negative emotions. And it works so incredibly fast because it's working with the neural pathways. It's working on your energy systems. So the way that emotional freedom techniques works is, it's incredibly complex, but the simple version is that, of course, we are all energy. We are energetic beings. The quantum physics has found, it's gone into the smallest particle and found out that there's nothing there. It's like where there's packets of really condensed energy that are wandering through life, bumping up against everything. And a lot of the things that we bump up against are our negative experiences, and those actually affect our energy field, and we get these blocks in our energy field, and these blocks are the trapped emotions. They are the limiting beliefs. They're the limiting decisions that we have made because of the experiences or because of the conditioning that we have been exposed to from the day we're born, or even from previous lifetimes, or the stuff that we brought through from our ancestors. It's complex. Do you know how hard it is to come to this planet? You really need to give yourself a pat on the back just for deciding to come here to be human. Because remember, you are spirit having a human experience, and your life is eternal. You are an eternal being. There is no beginning and there is no end. And I don't know about you, I can't even wrap my head around the concept, because everything in the human experience has a beginning and an end. Everything. So to even begin to comprehend that, I don't even bother trying. But this experience, this human experience, is a blip in the radar, but it's a bloody tough one. And it's, for some people, it's way tougher than others. And we get to co-create this experience with the source, the divine, the universe, God, spirit. But I really want you to acknowledge yourself for that right here, right now. The fact that you chose to be here, and the fact that you chose to be here at this time. Humanity's been going through a very tough time for thousands of years, and we're at a really big turning point right now, which is incredible. We've been waiting for this time. Many of us have been coming back and coming back and coming back and waiting for this time for millennia, for a long time. So give yourself a pat on the back for just saying you would be here on this planet right now, because it's tough. Being human is tough. But it's also incredibly, it can be incredibly rewarding. And we bring a lot of this stuff through with us. And then we have all the conditioning that is layered upon layered upon layered upon layered in this lifetime. So we are a work in progress, and we never get it all done. And this is why this internal work is so essential to do all the time. It's not just, it's a bit like getting fit, going to the gym. If you want to get fit, if you're 20 kilos overweight and you want to get fit and slim, then it's not about going to the gym once a month or even once a week to put in an effort. It's about doing it daily. And then once you lose the weight and get fit and you're eating well, it's not like, oh, well, I reached my goal. Now I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to go back to all my old habits. Wait a minute. All the old habits were what got you to the 20 kilos overweight and unhealthy and unfit in the first place. Why would you go back to doing that when that was what caused the problem? So it's about integrating these practices into your everyday experience. And if you're not getting the kind of results that you want, it's about looking at, well, how do I change it up? If it's not working, then the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. It's not going to work. If you want to get faster progress, then you need to look for more information. Remember, I said yesterday, if you're not getting the results that you want, then there's something you don't know. So you need to keep asking the question, what else do I need? What else can I do? What can I add to this? Who can I talk to? Do I need to ask for help? So emotional freedom technique is incredibly powerful and can get you incredible results. what I said before was it's important that you find the right target. So the reason, the core reason. And this takes a level of inquiry that we spoke about yesterday. How do you discover those blocks? It's the constant inquiry. It's always being curious. Okay, I've got this behavior that's really not serving me. Where does that come from? Why do I do that? Where did I learn that behavior? Why do I think this behavior is serving me? Was there something that happened in my life, this life, that has caused me to behave this way? So did I tell you the story about I know I've told it before, but did I tell you the story in this series about, I don't think I did, about the young, all right, I didn't. Sorry, just backtracking with my brain to try and figure out if I told this story during this particular 3 days. It's worth telling again anyway. So a colleague of mine said that she was working with a sort of a younger man. I guess he would have been in his 20s and 30s. And he couldn't figure out why he couldn't have a long-term lasting relationship that was the relationship that he wanted. So they were working together over a period of time, and they were unpacking lots of stuff during his sessions. And there was a moment where he remembered, or it came up in the session, that when he was 2 years of age, his grandmother used to love to throw him up in the air. And of course, babies love that, don't they? They love being thrown up. They have no idea what it stimulates in the brain, but it's a thing. So she was throwing him up in the air, and this day she dropped him, not deliberately, but she dropped him. Anyway, of course, she was horrified. Mum was horrified. They rushed him as a 2-year-old to the hospital, and they checked him out, and he was fine, because babies fortunately tend to bounce. He was fine. He checked out fine. However, as a 2-year-old, having that experience, there were 2 decisions that his little subconscious brain made that were running his relationships. One was that the people who love you the most will hurt you. 2 was, you can't trust a woman. So is it any surprise that his relationships kept failing, and that he couldn't have a long-term lasting relationship? If he went into the relationship with these subconscious beliefs, he didn't go in consciously thinking these thoughts. These were subconscious beliefs that he had that ended up destroying his relationships, or he attracted the wrong women, or whatever the scenario was, whatever the constant loop was. That's what he kept creating, because it is our subconscious beliefs that co-create a reality. It's 92 to 96% of our results are driven by the subconscious mind. This is why it's so important to get into the subconscious. So this is the target that I'm talking about. It is discovering the target, the dysfunction, the limiting belief, the fear. What is the fear that is in your subconscious, that is driving your results? What are you most afraid of? So there are other techniques that I use. There is instant miracle technique, which is a technique that I learnt from Christian Michelson. I went to the United States several years ago and learnt to this technique. It's sort of kind of a bit like Reiki, in that you need to be tuned into the energy. So I use that with my clients. There's a thing called peace process, and I will use this today to demonstrate it, but it's literally tuning into the issue and then going through a process. I guide you through a process in order to release it and just get it out of your field. Because remember, all of this stuff is trapped in your field, right? Good old coaching reframing. So it's looking at your perception or your perspective. So everything is perception or perspective. And once you actually look at it, if you change the way you look at things, you look at if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Wayne Dyer. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change your perception and your perspective, all of a sudden, everything looks different. So reframing, journaling and burning. So I spoke yesterday about journaling for the discovery process. You can actually then, you can do several things with it. You can then take it and burn it. So throw it in a fire, or, you know, create something whereby you burn it over the sink so you don't burn your house down. But that is very symbolic and helps you to release whatever it is. If you have certain resentment towards somebody or anger towards somebody, you can get a piece of paper and just write it out. Don't judge what you're writing. Don't hold back on what you're writing. Nobody's going to see it. Nobody else is going to see it unless you leave it lying around for somebody to read. So there is no harm in just spewing out whatever you've got in you. If there is hatred in you, don't hold on to that shit. Don't judge it. Don't go, oh, I can't possibly say that. Oh my God, it's in there. You may as well get that shit out. Just sit down and get a journal and or a piece of paper, a jotter. We call it a jotter here in Australia. I don't know what you call them, but they're flip pages, and just write and spew it all out. I don't care how vile it is. I don't care how horrible it might be, but just spew it all out and then burn it. And as you burn it, symbolically set the intention to let it go, release it into the ether, get it out of your field as much as possible. So they're techniques that I like, and they work super fast. I mean, emotional freedom technique, when you have the right target, it literally can work in about 2 minutes. Those miracle results, I wouldn't say they're common. I wouldn't say they're uncommon, but they're not common. It depends on the target and the setup and your intention. All of that. If you are absolutely dedicated, committed, and determined to let whatever shit go is holding you back, then you will find a way to uncover it and release it. And that's one of the things that I love doing with my clients. And that's the things, they're the things that we work on most intently, is uncovering your limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts, because they are the key to the kingdom. Releasing that shit is literally the key to your kingdom. You can figure out anything. You can find any solution that you need to any problem. You can. I guarantee you can. The thing that will stop you finding the solution that you need, that will stop you taking the action that you need to take, is the fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs. Okay. So, yes, Stephen. Gosh, you have been listening to me for a while. You are very right. Nothing is too good to be true, and nothing is too wonderful to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay. So what I'm going to do now is, I hope you still have your pen and paper, because I'm going to get you to do an exercise first, and then I am going to invite you in to work with me if you're ready for that. Okay, so I want you to think about the goal and the vision that you have for yourself, for your life, for your business. What's that goal? If you have it written down in front of you, great. If you don't, write it down now. What's your goal? What's your vision? What do you want to achieve? What amazing life do you want to live? What contribution do you want to make? What experiences do you want to have? What stuff do you want to buy? What does that come down to in your life? How does that feel? Really feel into it. Feel into your vision. Put yourself in that picture. Okay. Now, I want you to think about the vision, the journey to the vision. I'm going to ask you a question. What's slowing you down, stopping you, and standing in the way? What's slowing you down, stopping you, and standing in the way? Write it down. Just start to write. What's slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from achieving your vision for your life? What's slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from achieving this vision? I want you to keep unpacking this question. What's slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from achieving your vision? What else is slowing you down, standing in the way, and stopping you from achieving your vision? If you get stuck, ask the subconscious, what's slowing me down, standing in the way, and stopping me from achieving my vision? I'm going to give you another minute. This is an important question. Okay, a few more seconds. What's slowing you down, standing in the way, stopping you from achieving your vision? Okay, so in just a minute, I'm going to ask you to start volunteering to work with me to unpack what's going on and release this shit. So you can just get on with being awesome and get on with achieving your big, hairy, audacious goals. Couple more things I do want to share with you is that question is super powerful. If you sit with that question for 20, 30 minutes and you just keep asking that question, it's incredibly repetitive, but initially you'll get kind of the surface answers. Like I ask people that, and most people go, me. Yeah, okay, I know that. But what about you? What about your beliefs? And initially, the safe stuff will start to come up. But then you'll start to get sort of these aha moments. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Geez, I didn't realize that was a thing. And you'll start to go deeper. And as you keep asking, you'll get to a point where like, oh, I got nothing. It's like, I don't know. Like, that's it. That's all I've got. That's the important point, that you don't stop, because that's when you sit in the silence that is coming up in your brain, because you need to get over that barrier of safety that your subconscious has. Your subconscious is wired to do two things: keep you safe and to reinforce the current beliefs. So the reinforcing the current beliefs, your subconscious will continue to look for evidence to just reinforce the beliefs that it already has. So it's constantly seeing the world through the viewpoint of your belief systems. And it will constantly look to reinforce the things that it already believes about the world, about you, about your life. And it is also wired to keep you safe. So if it's, remember those three things, those three primary blocks: it's not safe, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. The subconscious mind locks in these beliefs, these programs, this conditioning in order to keep you safe. So do you really think it's in the subconscious the best interests to help you to find these blocks, to release them, if it thinks that releasing those blocks is going to make you unsafe? Does that make sense? I know it sounds a little convoluted, but this is where this level of inquiry is so important. And when you are relentless with your subconscious and say, okay, what else? Subconscious, what else is slowing me down, stopping me, standing in the way? And that's when the breakthroughs start to really come. Now, there's a couple of other questions that you can ask yourself. What am I really afraid of? Or ask your subconscious, what am I really afraid of? What am I most afraid of? Another question is, what's the downside? What's the downside of me achieving my goals and dreams? What's the downside to me being massively rich? What's the downside to me being massively successful? Now, most people, when I initially asked this question, they're like, there is no downside. What do you mean? There can't be a downside. Well, if you're not getting the results that you want, your subconscious believes there's a downside. And it could be the loss of family and friends. It could be that you're afraid that you'll have to leave behind something in your life, or it could be a loss of identity. The strongest beliefs that we have are our identity beliefs. And they are the I am and I am not beliefs. So fear of judgment, Richard, there you go. It's a big one. So you fear judgment more than you fear not achieving your vision or your goals and dreams. And this is perfectly normal and natural. So another question is, what is the upside of staying where I am? Because it's comfortable, because it's familiar, because there's no real risk involved. And sometimes it takes that risk, and you do not want to wait until there is a risk big enough that pushes you to do whatever it takes. You want to make that choice yourself. You don't want the universe to slap you around to the point where you don't have a choice, or you'd have some really poor choices. So the choices that you're given are like, well, do this or experience that, and neither are really great choices. You want to choose now before it gets to the point where the universe pushes you into a corner, because this is where people get pushed into a corner where it's like they have only a couple of choices and neither of them are really that great. So make the choices now while you still have lots of options. Okay, so who's ready to hit the ground running? Work with me, release this shit. Stephen, come on in, my friend.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm open, ask away.
In where?
I start. Pardon?
You're up where?
What's the first question?
Oh, you're breaking up a bit.
Hello?
Yeah, you just
Okay,
ducked out on me
okay.
for a second. You're coming back. Technology is great when it
Hello?
works. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right, I can hear you now. So, sorry, where are you?
Where am I? Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay. Amazing part of the world. So, what have you got, Stephen? What did you come up with?
What do I want first?
What's your
Start
vision?
there. I like to have passive income of at least $3,000 a month.
Not a big ask.
I want to contribute to our national parks, dog shelters, and food banks.
Oh, I love it.
That's the overall vision. What's holding me back? I'll put it this way. I think it is my age, lack of money, frustration with technology. Really drives me crazy sometimes. No support, no mentor. Don't know where to start. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's true for all of us. That is just true. We don't know what we don't know. Okay, so age, lack of money, don't know where to start. What else did you say? Could you go back and what did I miss? I couldn't write fast enough.
Age, money, lack of support.
Lack of support.
Don't know where to start.
Okay. All right. So let's do a little reframing first. As far as I don't know where to start, just start. Just do something. And that's where the preparation that we work through on day one is it's identifying where you want to go and just think about, okay, what's a step I can take? I don't care if it's not perfect. I don't care if you're not sure if it's the right step. Just take a step. Do I need to learn something? And don't get stuck in the eternal learning loop either. So many people think, oh, I just have to learn this. Oh, and now I have to learn this. Yeah, learning's essential, but at some point you have to apply that learning. So, yeah, look at where you want to go. Now, did you say $3,000 a month?
That would put me on Easy Street. I know that's not a lot of money. Most people say, well, think big, think big. Sorry, I guess I got that thing in the back of my head. It says, hey, my daddy never made more than $1,000. If I get $3,000 a month, I'm making 3 times more than he ever did. And that would put me on Easy Street. I figure right now, I need $400 a month, period, to break even, pay all the bills, all the debts, everything. Everything above $500 is pure fun money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the way I look at it.
All right, so I'm not going to push you today. $3,000 is a good place to start. Yeah.
I'm starting.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So tap with me. Everybody tap along, by the way, because you will borrow benefits as we go. That's what I love about group work. Okay. Even though I feel like I'm just too old to learn this stuff,
I'm just too old to learn all this stuff.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
I deeply love and accept all of them.
Even though I feel like I don't have enough time left,
Even though I don't feel I have enough time left
to achieve the vision that I want
to achieve the vision I want
and to learn everything that I need to learn,
and learn everything I need to learn.
it just seems all too hard.
It seems too hard.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
And deeply love and accept all of me.
Even though I don't know where to start.
Even though I don't know where to start.
And a lot of this technology overwhelms me.
And technology overwhelms me.
I choose to love and accept all of me right now.
And choose to love and accept all of me right now.
Okay, tapping through the points. I've been on this planet a while.
I've been on this planet for just a few days, yes.
And I haven't figured it out yet.
I haven't quite figured it out yet.
I'm starting to wonder if I ever will.
I'm wondering if I ever will.
I choose to know I am never too old.
I choose to know that I'm never too old.
I know that I'm really young at heart.
I am young at heart.
And I've got a good brain.
And I have a good brain.
I may be older.
I might be older.
But I'm a damn sight wiser.
That's wiser.
With age comes wisdom.
With age comes wisdom.
With age comes knowledge.
With age comes knowledge.
With age comes understanding.
With age comes understanding.
I'm at the perfect age.
I'm at the perfect age.
Because I have wisdom and knowledge.
Because I have lots of wisdom and knowledge
That younger people don't have.
that younger people don't have.
I choose to see my age as an advantage.
I used to see my age as an advantage.
There are lots of positives about being older.
There's a lot of good things about being older.
There's a lot of advantages about my age.
There's a lot of advantages to my age.
This technology thing's a bit confusing.
The technology thing is a little bit confusing.
I find it hard to wrap my head around it.
Sometimes I find myself not being able to wrap my head around it.
I do struggle with technology sometimes.
I sometimes struggle with technology.
But if a 5-year-old's brain can do it,
But if a 5-year-old's brain can do it,
then I know I can do it.
then Grandpa can do it too.
I choose to know my brain is capable of learning anything.
I choose to know that my brain can learn anything.
May not learn this technology as fast,
I may not learn technology as fast as some,
but I know I can learn it.
but I know I can learn it.
I choose to give my brain permission
I choose to give my brain permission
to be on the same wavelength as this technology.
to be on the same wavelength as technology.
And I choose to know
And I choose to know
that I am fully supported in all my goals and dreams.
that I am truly supported in all my goals and dreams.
I may not have people around to support me,
I may not have people around me to support me,
but I know that I have the most powerful support of all.
I know that I have the most powerful support of all,
Because I have the support of the universe.
because I have the support of the universe.
I know the spirit is on my side.
I know that spirit is on my side.
I know that I am fully supported by the universe.
I know I am fully supported by the universe.
I choose to partner with the universe.
I choose to partner with the universe.
I choose to follow the inspiration of the universe.
I choose to follow the inspiration of the universe.
I choose to know that divine spirit is guiding me every step of the way.
I choose to know that divine spirit is guiding me each step of the way.
I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to partner with the divine.
to partner with the divine.
I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to partner with source.
to partner with source.
I give myself permission
I give myself permission
to let go of having to do it all.
to having to do it all,
And allow the divine source
and to allow divine source
to do the heavy lifting for me.
to do the heavy lifting for me.
I will show up
I'm going to show up
with a can-do no matter what attitude,
with a can-do no matter what attitude,
and I choose to know I am capable of anything,
just to know that I am capable of anything,
and anything is possible.
and anything is possible.
Okay, deep breath. Okay, so what was coming up for you while we were doing that?
I have more support than I ever thought. Well, you're one of them.
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
A whole lot.
Yeah.
I've never in the past have gotten much support.
Yeah. And this is where I want to encourage you and everybody who's listening to this to lean into spirit, lean into the universe. You know that saying that, or that story that I'm sure you've all heard it, about somebody looking back on their life and it was represented by footprints in the sand. And most of the way, there's two sets of footprints. And at times, oh, I'm tearing up. At times, there's just one set of footprints. And the two sets of footprints was the person walking with spirit. And the person says to spirit, why at sometimes did you leave me? Why did you let me walk on my own? Spirit goes, you never walked on your own. Sorry. That's when I carried you. It's like, oh my God. That's what spirit does. But we've got to allow spirit in. We've got to allow spirit to support us. And know that we are never alone, that we always have the most powerful partner. And that's why we are capable of so much, is because we are never alone. We are always fully supported. So if you know that you can't fail, what would you dare to attempt?
Wow. Oh boy. Have more fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love that that's the first thing that you said. I love it.
Yeah, I think I've held myself back a little bit.
A little.
Yeah, okay. I'm letting them let go.
Do you think you might have underestimated what you're capable of?
Yeah, because of all that, as you say, the shady committee.
Yep. All the stuff that tells you that you're not good enough. Yeah.
Yes. I was reading a story the other day. I didn't know about bamboo. You imagine you stumbled across that story somewhere along the line. So I think I've been putting down a lot of roots.
Tell us the story, Stephen. It's a great story. Tell us the story.
Well, I'll have to paraphrase it. I can't quote it, but
Mm.
it was a story about bamboo, and I think it was, and they were both in the forest, and they just got done. They have been planted by nature, and for the first 5 years, the fern just sprouted and grew and flourished. And the first 5 years, nothing out of the bamboo. 10 years go by, nothing out of the bamboo. The fern's just going wild all over the place, you know. And I think the bamboo's a spirit, why am I not growing? What am I not growing? Why haven't I done anything? Look at the fern. Spirit says, you've been taking roots. And the bamboo, from I think it was the 6th or 7th year on, grew over 50 feet in 1 year.
Yep.
So that's you triggered that story.
It's a great story, and it's so appropriate because the bamboo gets so damn tall that it has to have such a strong structure of roots in order to um, be able to sustain, be able to hold itself at that height. So, and we as humans, in order to build and accelerate our progress, same deal. You're so right. You've been putting down roots. And over the years that you've been on the planet, you've been on a lot of roots. Guess what? You are in the perfect position to grow super fast. So no more holding yourself back. What are you going to do? What do you do? Just tell me one thing that you're going to do today that you know is going to help you to make some progress, or tomorrow.
I'm exploring right now of an app online to, how can I say it? A little side hustle. It's called Task Rabbit, where I go out and do tasks for people. I mean, anything from grabbing their groceries to washing the car, uh, assembling furniture that they've bought and they don't know how to put together. Uh, yeah, just a boatload of options.
Yeah.
And that kind of really caught my attention, and I'm going to pursue that.
Awesome. I love it. One other thing that I'm going to challenge you to do is sit down and unpack the wisdom that you have acquired over these years that you've been on this planet. And think about who could potentially benefit from that wisdom.
Hmm. One thing that comes to mind. Uh, I retired 6 years ago.
Yep.
Sold most of everything I had. Bought an RV. Told my wife at the time, doesn't fit in our RV. We're throwing it away or giving it away. So ever since then, I've been traveling, and without exception, at least once or twice a year, people will stop me and say, you know, what? How'd you do that? I mean, I'm just doing it.
Yep.
I'm not. I'm not worrying about how or when. I'm doing what I like. I'm doing what I love. Uh, Everything seems to work out.
Okay. I love it. I want you to apply the same philosophy to earning this extra $3,000 a month. Same philosophy. I'm just doing it. No more reasons or excuses or whatever. Just do it. Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're very welcome. Thank you for playing. Okay, Rich asked, if I want to speed up the process of reprogramming the subconscious mind, how many times daily do you recommend tapping? I recommend tapping as much as you can. And that's the most progress you're going to make is the target, though. So the more targeted your tapping is, the more you're diving into the blocks, doing the exercise that I took you through earlier, and really getting deep into those subconscious blocks. And I said yesterday that saying that if you're going to chop down a tree, then you spend 90% of the time sharpening your axe. So you can do a whole lot of tapping, and any tapping is good. Any tapping is going to help you to release stuff and make progress. But the more targeted your tapping is, the quicker you're going to get those results. And you really can't go wrong with tapping. Like, it's still an experimental technique, because there's no real science behind it. But millions of people doing tapping know that it works. So it's really just talking through whatever it is. The most progress you're going to get is talking through whatever your specific problem is, asking those questions, doing the exercises that I took you through before to get to the core of the problem. The more you do that, the greater the progress you're going to get. So you can tap a lot. You're going to get better progress if you do the discovery work and then do the tapping, or whatever the release technique is that you're going to use. So do the preparation. One of the stories that I was telling yesterday was about doing the preparation work and getting really serious about the preparation and getting to understand your subconscious, what the beliefs are that are driving your behavior, and then what are your fears, what are your doubts, and then that's when you're going to get the greatest breakthroughs. Okay, so who else wants to share the discoveries that they made? Okay. Lucille?
Yes. So what I've discovered is, I should say Michael has also discovered this in me, is I get to 95% of finishing something, and then I completely pull back. I say, oh, I only have 5% more to do. And then I procrastinate with the 5%, like what I'm doing with my course. I'm really close to finishing it. So that's one. And then yesterday you said one that if business is hard, then that affects the way you, operate your business. So that one struck a chord with me too, because sometimes I'll get down because I think business is hard or the world is changing, and it's I've got to. So those are the two things that I'm really need to clear.
To work on. Okay. So if you're getting most of the way done and then you're pulling back, it's because you have a fear of success.
But I have 3 books out, so I don't understand where that could come from. I've been, in the light.
But are the books getting you the success that you want?
No, not now. No.
Yeah. So there is some barrier that you have. That were you here earlier when we were doing those deep dive exercises into the subconscious? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just came home. I just
Oh,
got,
okay.
okay, missed that.
Okay. All right, bugger. Okay, so when the recording comes out, go
Yeah.
back and do those exercises. We can tap on a little bit of this today, but it's really asking those deep dive questions is to find out what is behind your fear of success. What are you most afraid of? And
Is it fear of the unknown?
I don't know. See, that's where the discovery work that you do is the key to find. It could be a gazillion things. It could be a gazillion reasons why you are afraid of that success. Like, and one of the questions is, what's the downside? So what is the downside to you achieving the success that you want? And what are you maybe afraid to lose something, or maybe you're afraid of judgment and criticism. Maybe you feel there's something that's not safe about you going into the success. So we can do a general tapping today, but when you really discover what that deep programming is that's actually stopping you and causing you to pull back, that's when you're really going to get the big breakthroughs. So when you say that, so you've got 95% done for this course.
Right. And I do the same thing with my taxes.
Okay. All right. So with this course, what happens when you launch the course? So just say for a moment, put yourself in the situation where you've finished the course. What's next?
I've got to advertise it and get it out there.
Okay. How confident do you feel about the advertising?
I don't feel really confident because the ads that I've done on Facebook in the past, didn't work. So, and it seems like the algorithms on Facebook are changing, and yeah, I'm not confident about that, but I'm going to do it.
Yes. So how much resistance when you think about, okay, I've got my course, now I have to do the marketing and advertising, how much resistance do you feel to that step?
I don't. I actually wanted to start advertising next week, and Michael will not let me until I finish the course. And I say, well, everybody says if you know it's coming out in a week or two, then start advertising it as a pre-launch. And he says, absolutely not. You're not doing that. I want to see it finished, because I guess he gets nervous that I don't finish it.
Okay, so what's it going to take to finish the course?
What's it going to take? Probably X amount of time, 3 full days of time. If I had to put it in terms, I don't have 3 full days, but probably that's about it.
Okay, what would get it to the point where it's finished enough that you could launch it and fill in the blanks later?
I think I'm up just about there, but he doesn't want me to do that. We were discussing it this morning. And
okay, so
he's going to make my landing page for me, and he's got to hook up, the email integration. And so we were working on a landing page last week, but I didn't like the way it was coming out. So yeah, we just have to have more time to do that and hook that in and get the email set up, and
Okay, so you may not be at the point where you're ready to launch the campaign yet. But what I want you to do is put everything in place to be able to get the product finished. So set out the time where you're going to sit and get the product finished. And then I want you to create the marketing campaign. You're not going to launch the campaign. You're going to create the marketing campaign.
When you say create it?
Well, in order to launch an ad campaign on Facebook or on Instagram or wherever, you've got to create the campaign first.
Oh, and well, then, I have all the headlines and all of that, John.
But have you created the actual campaign? Do you have the ads ready to go?
No.
Okay. So I want you to get the ads ready to go.
Okay.
So because when you set up these campaigns, you can set them to start on a particular date.
Okay. So set them up in Facebook is what you're saying.
Set the campaign up ready to go, and then
Okay.
pick a date that you're going to launch the campaign.
Okay. Got it.
Then you've got to get all the other stuff done
Right.
before the campaign launches. So you're giving yourself a specific time frame to keep yourself accountable.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Got it.
Now I get the feeling that because you're not confident about the marketing, and marketing costs money, and that you're
Right.
afraid that you're going to start the marketing and you're going to spend a lot of money and you're not going to get results,
Right.
that this is a big part of your fear. And this is why I asked about your resistance to starting the marketing. I feel that resistance is, shit, what if I spend a whole lot of money on this advertising and it doesn't work? Because that's been an experience that you've had in the past.
Right.
So if you think about that, do you feel resistance?
I feel anxiety about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's resistance. Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, if you think about that scenario that you spend money on advertising and you don't sell the course, how does that feel?
6 or 7.
Okay. All right. So that gives us a great target to work on. Start by tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I'm not confident with marketing.
Even though I'm not confident with marketing.
And I'm anxious about losing money.
And I'm anxious about losing money.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
Even though I'm not confident with my marketing.
Even though I'm not confident with my marketing.
It's actually a really weak part of my business.
It's actually a really weak part of my business.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
Even though so much has changed in the last few years.
Even though so much has changed in the last few years.
I don't understand marketing and advertising anymore.
I don't understand marketing and advertising anymore.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me right now.
Love and accept all of me right now.
Okay, tapping through the points. I'm anxious about spending money on advertising.
I'm anxious about spending money on advertising.
What if I spend the money?
What if I spend the money?
And nobody buys the course?
And nobody buys the course?
What if the advertising doesn't work?
What if the advertising doesn't work?
What if I get no return on my advertising money?
What if I get no return on my advertising money?
What if I put it out there and there's crickets?
What if I put it out there and there's crickets?
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To this anxiety about marketing and advertising.
To this anxiety about marketing and advertising.
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To this fear of losing money.
To this fear of losing money.
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To this lack of confidence with my marketing.
To this lack of confidence with my marketing.
I destroy and uncreate this anxiety.
I destroy and uncreate this anxiety.
I destroy and uncreate this fear of losing.
I destroy and uncreate this fear of losing.
I destroy and uncreate this fear that nobody will buy my course.
Destroy and uncreate this fear that nobody will buy my course.
What if the marketing doesn't work?
What if the marketing doesn't work?
I release all this fear.
I release all this fear.
I release all this anxiety.
I release all this anxiety.
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To the uncertainty about my marketing.
To the uncertainty about my marketing.
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To this fear of not getting the result that I want.
To this fear of not getting the result that I want.
Marketing is not an exact science.
Marketing's not an exact science.
There are no guarantees.
There are no guarantees.
I choose to do the groundwork.
I choose to do the groundwork.
I choose to set myself up for success.
I choose to set myself up for success
By doing the basic stuffs the best I can.
by doing the basic stuff the best I can,
By knowing my target audience.
by knowing my target audience.
I could throw a stack of money at this
I could throw a stack of money at this
and receive no money in return.
and receive no money in return.
That's the risk of marketing.
That's the risk of marketing.
But I choose to set myself up for success
I choose to set myself up for success
by doing the research first,
by doing the research first,
by doing the research on my audience,
by doing the research on my audience,
by understanding what they want,
by understanding what they want,
by crafting a message
a message
that really speaks to my audience.
that really speaks to my audience.
Okay, deep breath. Another deep breath. Okay, so where are my notes? Okay, so with your marketing, it's imperative that you understand your audience. Then you need the hook. You need the story. So think about your story or a story of your clients. You can use either or.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure about the story that would pull them in.
So you really need to sit down, and this is about crafting your message. So the most important, the most time that you're going to need to spend is on crafting your story and your message. And then the offer is the point of liberation for your audience. So using your past background with what you experienced or with what your the people who have worked with you have experienced, you craft the story that delivers, that is about delivering the result that your prospective audience wants.
But that's not going on the landing page, is it?
Well, it can, yes. The story does, yes.
Story does. Okay.
And as far as delivering your course, you could take what you've already developed and you could use parts of that to get them in for, what's your lead gen that you're using?
What do you mean lead gen?
So your lead generation. So when you do your advertising, you're not directly advertising to the course, are you?
No, I was going to do something like, what did I have? I have a whole bunch of different headlines written down. And one of them is, could you be losing future business because of your headshot? You know, something like that is one of them. Or, yeah, a bunch of those, you know, I have as headlines.
Well, that's your
Okay.
advertising and your message and your marketing. But what does that send them to? When you launch your marketing and advertising, what does it send them to? Did it send them straight to the course?
I was going to give them 3 tips on why a headshot's really important for their future. A good headshot.
Okay, not strong enough.
Not strong enough.
You need to give them something that is going to get them a result.
To get their email?
Yes. Yes. You have to give them, people don't want to give you that. The day of giving people newsletters and them flocking to you with their email is over, long gone. In order to get their email, you have to give them something that is of value to them. They want a result. They don't just want information. They don't want to know why the headshot is important. If they're looking for somebody to give them a headshot, they don't care why the headshot is important. They want to know. So this is where it's important that you give them something that can give them a result now, because
But
that's
they can't get the result now unless they buy the course, because they can't do it themselves unless they buy the course. So
they can get. Remember, I sent you that link to the photography school.
yeah.
How much value do they give in their videos
Yeah.
that they give away for free?
Yeah.
And they're clearly making a lot of money
Right.
because they're giving such great value for free. They're building that know, like, and trust relationship with their audience. Then their audience goes, holy crap, if you're giving this away for free, how much amazing value you must be giving in your course. I'm in.
Yeah. I understand that, but with the camera, I have to tell them how to set it up and everything.
You're not giving them everything, Lucille. You're giving them tips that give them a result now. I know we've discussed this. I know we've talked about this before.
No, I know. Yeah. And I get it, but I mean, I could give them, like makeup tips that could give them a better result, but I can't give them the camera tips because I have to actually show them the setup.
But if you look at what the photography school does, they're giving people direct tips on how to set up a shot. They're giving people direct tips on ways to use their phone. They're not giving them the entire solution. They're giving them parts of the solution. You can give them parts of the solution, and there's a stack of people who will never buy your course, but they were never going to buy your course anyway. But in order to win their trust, in order for them to give you their credit card, there's a shit ton of ways they could spend their money. In order to give you their credit card, they have to know that you're worth it, that money is going to be well spent, because they don't want to be ripped off. So you have to win their trust. So anyway, this has gone way beyond the scope of today, but it's really important that you set yourself up right. Okay. So do the things that I suggested, go back and do the exercises that I did in the beginning, and it's awesome that you've done 90% of your course. It's time to get that over the line and get your marketing launched, but you've got to set your marketing up to win. So if you're not confident about that, then what do you need to know? What do you need to learn about marketing that you don't know, that has not got you the results that you want yet?
Okay.
Maybe it's time to do a course on marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Super cool.
Okay.
All right. Who's next? Richard, come on in, my friend.
Hi, thanks for doing this, by the way.
My pleasure. I love it.
So what I want to do is I want to achieve $1 million online business, helping others raise their consciousness. I want to raise the consciousness of the world. So
I love it.
with that, and I want to be a huge support for people, one-on-one and group-wise.
Yep.
So my big fear is fear of judgment and rejection.
Yep.
And also fear of what Stephen had said, the technical aspects of online marketing and stuff like that. And mostly a fear of failure and like judgment, especially like from my family, because like I can't even talk to them about a lot of esoteric stuff because they're kind of, they're in like a Christian mindset that's kind of blocking anything outside the bounds. So it's kind of hard to, so they definitely would judge me, but I think I could get over that. But then I'm not an expert really in the field of spiritual awakening and consciousness raising, but I'm really, really interested in it. And I watch a lot of it on YouTube. So I love the idea and everything, I listen to a bunch of people channeling higher consciousness and stuff like that. And I meditate every day. I do Kundalini yoga. So I do a lot of stuff to raise my own consciousness. And I think I could help people do that.
Okay, so what to you constitutes an expert?
I don't really know. Someone who maybe like a yogi, you know, or some spiritual master.
Okay. So you have an arbitrary concept of what an expert is.
Yeah.
And then you're comparing yourself to this arbitrary kind of esoteric, really undefined benchmark that I'm not an expert. So you're already setting yourself up to fail.
Right. Well, I don't feel like I'm an expert yet. I'm
But-
kind of a perfectionist too.
Okay, so perfectionism is clearly an
Yeah.
obstacle, and we can tap on that. So what I want you to think about, in order to change this perception of yours, I'm not an expert. You don't have to be an expert in anything, particularly if you're comparing yourself to a yogi who might have spent, you know, they've probably, a
50
yogi
years.
would have spent their entire life and every waking moment basically learning their craft.
Right.
But it's important that you unpack, what do you know? What is your journey? What have you learned and applied in your life that has helped you get a result?
Right.
Because whatever you have learned and applied, that wisdom, that knowledge that has gotten you a result, you can help other people. Remember, you don't have to be, the people who are at the top of the ladder have no connection or ability to help anybody at the bottom of the ladder, except by helping the next person down, who helps the next person down, who helps the next person down, who helps the
Right.
next person down. So you just have to be a couple of steps or even just one rung above the person below you to be able to help them up.
Right. Right. Huh.
So if you give yourself this impossible benchmark of having to be an expert, then you're never going to get started.
Well, actually, what I was thinking about for starting was maybe starting a blog. And well, I got to learn how to do that too, but starting a blog and just giving tips, you know, small tips of things that have helped me, you know, along the way.
Mhm.
And I think that won't be as like scary as saying I know it already or whatever, you know.
Never say that anyway.
Right. Right. I wouldn't say that, but maybe, you know, starting small, that would probably be easier.
Absolutely. Start where you're at. Do what you can. Use what you have. Always start where you're at, or use what you have. Do what you can. Start where you're at. Use what you have. Do what you can. So, and when you start to really unpack the wisdom and the knowledge that you have acquired on your journey, and the skills and the things that you do know that you've applied that work, how valuable have they been in your life?
Oh, very valuable.
So how valuable would they be in somebody else's life?
Yeah, definitely help a lot of people.
So you can take one thing that you know right now. With that one thing, you could potentially impact thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, because they don't know what you know.
Right, right.
There are hundreds of thousands of people who don't know what you know. You don't have to
Yeah.
know everything. You just have
Right.
to know that one thing.
Hmm.
And you can impact hundreds of thousands of millions of people.
Right.
And then you teach them one other thing that you know. Oh my God, all of a sudden in their eyes, you're an expert because you just taught them something that helped them to overcome a problem that they're experiencing.
Right.
It's actually not that hard to be perceived as an expert in somebody's eyes. You just have to teach them one thing that gives them a result.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're elevated to the level of expert. And then they're like, holy crap, I need this person in my life. And then you're continuing to grow, you're continuing to evolve, you're continuing to learn. And then as you learn, you teach your audience, your followers, what you're learning. So you
Right.
earn as you learn.
Right.
to start with, is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. It gives me more confidence to start. So that's for sure.
Awesome. So when you're starting your blog, take what you write on your blog and then write it on the other social media platforms. So this is the repurposing of content. So you take one piece of content and you put it out onto multiple platforms.
Okay.
And you
So
put
like
it out.
share a link from one platform to the other.
Well, if you're doing a blog, I would copy and paste onto like Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever you want to put it.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
copy and paste it. So you can then lead people back to a blog. What I do recommend though is if something on like Facebook and Instagram, if you're going to take people off the platform, don't put it in the post. Put it in the link.
Right.
Because you will get penalized by those platforms. Those algorithms are super smart and they will pick up if you are leading people off their platform, and they do not want people leaving their platform. They want content that keeps Facebook, Instagram, they're all about content curation that keeps people on the platform. So the more value you offer on the platform, the more you keep people on the platform, the more you'll get promoted within the algorithm.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're going to post links, put them in the comment section.
Right.
But you can put all your content out on these free platforms and get followers, get people interested, get people engaged. The content is that you put out, write it in such a way that it gets people engaged, it gets people responding, because that will bump you up in the algorithm again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So just start sharing what you know.
Okay.
And the more you share what you know, the more people you're going to draw in your audience. You're going to get engagement. You're going to know what they want.
Right.
And the more you're going to build your following and your audience, and the more confidence you're going to build at the same time.
Right. A little bit at a time, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So don't wait until it's perfect. Unpack what you know and start to write. I guarantee you will be freaking amazed when you start to write down what you know and start to unpack what you know. It will shock you the level of value that you have to offer to people who are in a position where they're facing problems and challenges that you can solve with what you know.
Right.
Okay. All right. Let's start tapping on this other stuff. Even though I'm afraid of what other people will think.
Even though I'm afraid of what other people might think.
Especially my family.
Especially my family.
They can be really judgmental shits at times.
They could be really judgmental about everything.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
Even though I'm afraid I'll be judged and criticized.
Even though I'm afraid of being judged.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
Even though I'm worried about what people might think.
Even though I'm worried about what people might think.
And they might think that I'm a fraud.
And they may think that I'm a fraud.
Because I'm not sure that I know enough yet.
Because I'm not sure if I know enough yet.
I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely.
Love and accept all of me right now.
Love and accept all of me right now.
Tapping through the points. What will people think of me?
What will people think of me?
What will my family think of me?
What will my family think of me?
What will people think when they read my blog?
What will people think when they read my blog?
What will they think of me when they read my content?
What will they think of me when they read my content?
Maybe they'll be really judgmental.
Maybe they'll be really judgmental.
What if people judge me?
What if people judge me?
What if my family judges me?
What if my family judges me?
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachments
to the judgment of others.
to the judgment of others.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachment
to the judgment and opinion of my family.
to the judgment and opinions of my family.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all of my emotional attachments
to caring what other people think.
to caring what other people think.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachments
to this fear of judgment and criticism.
to the fear of judgment and criticism.
I destroy and uncreate
I destroy and uncreate
my fear of judgment and criticism.
my fear of judgment and criticism.
I destroy and uncreate
I destroy and uncreate
my fear about what my family thinks.
my fear about what my family would think.
I destroy and uncreate
I destroy and uncreate
this fear of rejection.
this fear of rejection.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachment
to this fear of rejection.
to this fear of rejection.
I restore the right flow of energy
I restore the right flow of energy
to my stomach.
to my stomach.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachment
to this fear of rejection by my family.
to this fear of rejection by my family.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachment
to this fear of rejection by others.
to this fear of rejection by others.
I destroy and uncreate
I destroy and uncreate
this fear of rejection.
this fear of rejection.
I destroy and uncreate
I destroy and uncreate
this fear of rejection.
this fear of rejection.
This fear of rejection.
This fear of rejection.
But I'm not an expert.
I'm not an expert.
I'm really not an expert.
I'm not an expert.
I don't know enough.
I don't know enough.
I feel like I don't know anything.
I feel like I don't know anything.
Who's going to listen to me?
Who's going to listen to me?
They're going to think I'm a big fat fraud.
They're going to think I'm a fraud.
Really, what do I know?
Really, what do I know?
Who's going to listen to me?
Who's going to listen to me?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know who's going to listen to me.
I don't know who's going to listen to me.
Maybe nobody will listen to me.
Maybe nobody will listen to me.
Maybe it'll be crickets.
It'll be crickets. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I love it. But if I don't do anything now,
But if I don't do anything now,
then I'll never know.
then I'll never know.
I might have a lot to offer.
I might have a lot to offer.
I choose to know.
I choose to know.
I have wisdom that people need.
I have what?
Wisdom that people need.
Oh, I have wisdom that people need.
I choose to know
I choose to know
that I have knowledge that could help people.
that I have knowledge that can help people.
I choose to know
I choose to know
I have experience that could really help others.
I have experience that could really help others.
And I'm just going to start putting it out there.
And I'm just going to start putting it out there.
I'm going to start today putting it out there
I'm going to start today putting it out there
because I know that what has helped me
because I know that what has helped me
can definitely help others.
can definitely help others.
Okay, deep breath. What was coming up for you?
Very heavy emotions about, being judged.
So how does that feel when you think about that, when you think about being judged?
Really heavy, really heavy.
Okay, close your eyes. I want you to feel into that. Where do you feel it in your body?
In my chest.
Okay, so drop into that feeling in your chest. Really allow it. Be with it. I know it's uncomfortable. Just totally be with it and know that you're safe. If there was something that feeling wanted to say to you, what would it say?
It's okay.
What else would it say?
We're just trying to show you that you're loved.
How does that feel?
That's kind of a release there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good.
So tune
Yeah, that
back
was great.
into that feeling when you think about the feeling of being judged and rejected.
Yeah, it's not quite as heavy now.
Okay. Are you
I
ready
think I
to let that feeling go? Period. Forever. Are you ready to let that go? Okay.
Definitely.
Close your eyes.
Mhm.
Tuning into that feeling in your heart. Sending it complete unconditional love, acceptance, approval. And I want you to see an open door in your mind's eye close by. Say to that heavy feeling, that fear of rejection and judgment, it's time to leave. You are no longer welcome in my energy field. You must leave. And just stay with it until it's gone. Keep reassuring it that you will be safe. And just let me know when it's all gone, when it's out the door. Keep sending it unconditional love, acceptance, approval. Send it gratitude, because all it's been trying to do is keep you safe.
Yeah, I think it's gone now.
Okay, so close the door behind it. See the door close behind it. Now I want you to bring in that voice that said, we're just trying to show you that you're loved. I want you to allow that in. All of it, all the unconditional love that is coming from spirit, from source, from the divine. I want you to let that all in. Let it flood that space. It doesn't matter what you do. Spirit loves you unconditionally. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make. Spirit will always love you unconditionally.
I could feel that now.
So when you think about that fear of judgment, how heavy does that feel now?
Maybe a 2 or a 3.
Okay. So there's
Not
still a little
very
work to do.
Yeah, I'll keep working on it.
Yeah,
Keep
absolutely.
talking.
So, I mean, the truth of the matter is, you put yourself out there, people are going to judge and criticize you.
Yeah, I know
You
that.
look at the biggest gurus on the planet. There is always going to be people out there who are judging and criticizing them.
That's true, yeah.
You're
There's
not
always
going to be able to avoid it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen either way.
It's going to happen. But it's not taking that on board, because their judgment and criticism has nothing to do with you. It's not about you.
Right.
It's about them.
It's them. It's inside them.
Absolutely. And the more you challenge people, as in, the more help you offer people, the more you show them the solution, the more you show them the way through, actually, the more you're going to find you get judged and criticized. Because that's a threat to them. You're threatening their current reality.
Yeah.
But those people aren't your audience. There's a saying about, oh my God, there's like the ship has sunk and there's only a few rescue boats. And there's all these people in the water. Who do I save? I've got a rescue boat. I'm in the rescue boat. Who do you save? You save the people swimming toward you.
The people who want help. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can't save everybody. So you save those who are swimming toward you.
Right. And I know my consciousness being raised higher is raising everybody else's anyway. So I'm
Yeah,
already working on it.
absolutely. And then
Yeah.
how do you increase that impact that you're having by then helping others and showing other people the tools and the techniques that you have? So I'm trying to think of, give me just a second because the guy's name escapes me, but you'll know him for sure. Where is my browser? There it is. Where's my YouTube? I just need to look at the subscriptions that I have on my YouTube. Where is he? Kyle Cease. Do you know Kyle Cease?
No, I haven't heard of them.
Okay, go and check out Kyle Cease, Kyleseease. He's doing something similar to what you're doing, and he has, God, how many followers has that dude got?
CYKE.
CEASE, KYLE.
Yeah.
CEASE. He's got 177,000 subscribers. He's got tens of thousands of views on all his videos. So he's talking about doing what you're doing, and he has 177,000 followers, subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Wow. Yeah, I listened to a few people. I listened to this guy named Aaron Doherty. He's on YouTube. And another Aaron about the Council of One. And this lady named Sarah Landon. She's really good. She channels the council. And it's really, really wisdom teachings all the way. I mean, it's all about God being in you, you know, and you being the master of your creation, the creator within your creation. And it's really mind expanding. So I'll look up Kyle Cease and see.
Yeah, just check him out.
Yeah.
And work on letting go of your perfectionism. Better done than perfect. Your perfectionism will keep you in a constant loop of never actually starting.
Yeah.
So work on letting go of the perfectionism and just get it done already.
Yeah.
You can continue to perfect it along the way.
Right, right.
But what you know now could help people now. So start helping people now. And then you need to look at, okay, so how do I monetize that? And if you look at Kyle Cease's model, he's got a great model for the way he's monetizing it. So, and he had to start somewhere. All of them had to start somewhere. Kyle Cease wasn't born with 177,000 followers on YouTube.
Right, right. He started at the bottom.
He had to start. He had to start a YouTube channel where he had 0 followers at one point.
Right, right.
Yeah. So find somebody who has done what you want to do, and then look at how they've done it, and then model yourself on them, and don't compare yourself to them.
Right. Right.
I don't know how long ago Kyle C started. He's just a little bit further ahead in the journey than you. That's all. He started where you were one day.
Right, right.
Sitting at his desk or lying in bed thinking about, oh, I wonder if I did that, if that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah. Helping other people out.
Exactly. That's all he's doing. Okay. Questions?
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Stevens are also recommending Brian Scott on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I listen to him. I listen to him a lot.
All right, I'm going to have to look him up.
Yeah, Brian Scott he's awesome.
Cool. Thank you, Stephen, for that recommendation. I learned something today. Super cool. Never stop learning. Okay, we are an hour and 45 minutes in. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for coming along today, for playing. If you would like to experience a lot more intense kind of work with me, then you can you can do one of two things. You can go to, why is that not working? You can go to that that marguerita.as.me/strategy and book a session with me to discuss the various programs that I have. Or you can go to wealthtappathon.com. I've actually just finished that website yesterday. Wealth Tappathon will, this is the second time I'll be doing it. It is happening Thursday in Australia, and it'll be Wednesday night in the United States on the 25th. And that is $57 US. It is 6 hours of intense tapping with me to release your crap. So if you want to have that 6 hour intense experience, then go to wealthtappathon.com and you can sign up there right now. But are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions before we wrap it up today? Or what was your biggest takeaway from today? Would somebody like to share in the chat what their biggest takeaway was today? Thank you, Lucille. Lucille said she recommends a tapathon. She was on the last one. Yes, Heidi, you want to say something? Come in, gorgeous.
Yes, if I have the voice too. Sorry.
That's okay.
I would say thank you very much for the ones that's here today. One of the, Richard was talking about the experts, comparing yourself to the experts that you're looking for or hearing it to. That was one of my big issues. So thank you, Richard, for bringing it up. Because that's one of the things I've done is the things that I want to share. I have these experts that have done it for like 30 years plus, and I cannot do that. I can just do me. That's why I realized. But I have, by sharing it, even though I haven't been able to get online yet, I have been sharing my experience with my sister-in-law, because I'm trying to help people to get the 5 steps how to get things done. And she was writing a family book about the family history, and she was so trapped. And I taught her how to do it, and she managed to finish it and get the deadline. And the book was under the Christmas tree, as they wanted to be. And they're so happy and want me to share that my experience with others again, to start working with that again. But mine is just like, I think I make it too complicated, and what shall I do? And
we do have a tendency to overcomplicate it. So simplify, simplify. And come back to, you've already helped somebody to get a result. Now, just because you don't have the level of expertise and experience of some people who have been doing this process for many, many years, they also don't have the advantage of your gifts, your talents, your knowledge, because you have knowledge that they don't have. You have talents and gifts that they don't have. So you also have an unfair advantage. You just don't know what that is yet, because you haven't explored it. You haven't unpacked it. So you can do things that that other people can't do just because of who you are. And this applies to everybody. So when you compare yourself to somebody else, you're looking at them through your perception that you can't achieve what they've achieved, or you don't have what they've got. No, but they don't have what you've got. And when you start to do what you're doing more and more and helping more people, those people you're helping will certainly have the same experience. They'll look at you and go, oh my God, I can't do that. No, they can't do that the way you do it, because you are who you are. You are unique. You are special. There was nobody else like you. Nobody else has your body of knowledge, your wisdom, your journey, your skills and expertise. Nobody will do what you do the way that you do it. Exactly. Richard said, everybody is so unique. Everyone is so unique. So do not underestimate the value of that uniqueness.
Yeah, maybe that's what I've done all the time.
Yeah, we all do it.
You heard this. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So
Mm,
thank you for sharing.
yeah.
It has been
Thank you.
so wonderful. You're very welcome, Richard. And I hope that you've gotten great value out of this. If you have, I'd love it if you'd send me an email and tell me what the value was that you got out of this. If you send me a testimonial, I'd be very grateful. That'd be awesome. And if you want to come and join me at the Wealth Tapathon or book a session with me, and I can help to unpack where you are at, where you want to go, and we can see if it's appropriate for you to work with me in one of my ongoing programs, that would be awesome too. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you over these last few days. Thank you all so much for coming and playing. Love you all so much. And I will see you again at some point in the future. Bye for now.